I have been carrying something for almost 30 years, and I cannot do it alone anymore. In 1996, I was working as a contractor in northern Arizona. Mostly repair work, cabins, fire towers, old ranger stations, the kind of jobs nobody else wanted because they were too far from anywhere and paid next to nothing. In October, I got a call from a Park Service office asking if I could spend 2 weeks repairing a ranger station deep in the mountains. They said the place had been abandoned since the late 70s. Nobody told me why. The station was about 40 miles from the nearest paved road. No power, no phone line, just a dirt track through pine forest and canyon country. The building was worse than they described. Half the roof had collapsed. The walls were black with mold, rat nests and everything. The place felt wrong from the moment I stepped inside. Not haunted. I do not believe in that. Just heavy, like the air had not moved in a very long time. On the third day, I was pulling rotten shelving out of the station office. Behind the shelves, I found a door. Narrow. Set into the wall like it was built with the station and then covered up later. The hinges were rusted shut. I had to use a crowbar. Behind the door was a small room, no bigger than a pantry, no windows. Concrete walls, which was strange because the rest of the station was timber frame. Someone had built this room differently on purpose. There was a metal desk, a broken chair, and on the floor, a wooden box. The box had no label, no lock. It was heavy. Inside were dozens of file folders, some typed on official Park Service letterheads, some handwritten on notebook paper, some just scraps folded and tucked in. The oldest file was dated 1931. The newest was from 1982. Over 50 years of reports. All hidden in the same room, all passed down from one head ranger to the next. And every single folder had the same stamp across the front. Red ink. Block letters, do not file. I did not read them all that night. I read 5 or 6 sitting on the floor with a work lamp plugged into my generator. 5 or 6 was enough. They were incident reports that somebody had decided should not exist. Disappearances, hikers, campers, hunters, families, people who walked into the backcountry and did not come back, or who came back wrong, miles from where they should have been, confused, injured, unable to explain what happened, and the details kept repeating. Camps found intact, gear untouched, and the boots, always the boots, left behind in the tent or beside the bedroll, placed neatly, like the person had taken them off, set them down, and walked into the dark barefoot. Not once, not twice, across decades, across different parks, different rangers writing the reports years apart, none of them knowing the others had seen the same thing. But someone knew. Someone collected these files and hid them behind a wall and stamped every one of them with the same words. I should have put the box back. I should have sealed the room and driven home. Instead, I loaded the box into my truck. Something happened on my last morning at that station. I woke up early, maybe 5:30. I stepped outside and looked down at the ground in front of the door. The dirt was soft. I had been tracking my own boot prints in and out for days. I knew what my prints looked like. These were not mine. They were bare feet. Bare footprints starting about 10 feet from the front door. Not coming toward the station. Leading away. Toward the tree line at the edge of the clearing. They crossed the clearing in a straight line and disappeared into the trees. There were no prints coming back. I was 40 miles from the nearest road. I had not seen another person in 4 days. I finished the job. I did not sleep well. And when I drove out, the box was in the back of my truck. I never handed it over. I never told anyone what I found, not until now. I have carried this box for almost 30 years. I have gone back to it dozens of times. Read more of the files. Compared them. Found patterns that span decades and stretch across the entire country. The boots. The distances that do not make sense. the caves that nobody wants to talk about, and the people who tried to report what they saw and were quietly moved aside. People are still going missing, every year, the same way, in the same kinds of places. I have started recording myself reading through these files, all of them, in order. I need there to be a record that cannot be stamped and buried. You can find the recordings. I do not know if anyone will listen. But they are there. I will change the names, the locations, the dates. Some of the people in these files still have families, but the stories themselves stay. Because somebody should know. These are the buried archives.